Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play the Journeyman Project 2 Buried in Time. We're back home. It's been a while. But we have completed all 4 time periods, so we are able to actually continue on to the last leg of the game. Before I do that though, I actually have a couple thoughts about the time periods. I wonder just how much research the future gauge, the present gauge, I guess. I wonder how much research he had actually done into the time zones before we kind of messed around in them. Because I feel like we're doing his work for him. In a sense, although we haven't actually taken any notes. Because the only notes we get from him are the initial jump-ins, which he had as errors. So anyway, what we're doing here is actually remember what we picked up back at the last time period is the final piece of critical evidence. We're actually able to do something with it. The Environ cartridge, unlabeled. Also believe I didn't show this one off, the burned letter, in terms of its analysis. Okay. Good to go there. So let's head over to the Environ system and take a look at this thing. Now to make the long trip around. Alright, let's pop this thing in. Oh, I forgot about how the Gina Andrews single was in here. Oh well, let's take that out and then pop in the Environ cartridge. Oh. Somebody doesn't want us to look at this. Playback in Kligmar radiation band, huh? Well, remember, we do have a little thing that lets us see things that we're not supposed to, or by regular means. So let's pop this on, and then sit back and watch as the story unfolds. So I'll see you in a little while.
Okay, this cartridge is the final piece you'll need to build a time machine. You should also have the Da Vinci Codex, which contains various formulae, the sculpture which morphs into a schematic diagram, and the medieval sword which holds the energy focusing element. This cartridge contains all existing notes, plans, and diagrams on the construction of the neutrino matrix accelerator, the time machine's power source. You'll be able to recreate the accelerator from these notes. By using the formulae, schematics, and focusing element to control the accelerator and harness its power, you'll be able to turn it into a functioning time machine. The information on this cartridge has been arranged in chronological order, starting with the building of the accelerator's framework, and following the process of its construction through to the final product. Good luck. And may
Sorry to interrupt, Gage, but I need that back.
Good, you're awake. Don't bother trying to move, your suit's disabled. I've got you hooked up to the jumpsuit maintenance frame. Well, it took me a while, but I finally figured out how you did it. I remembered that Agent 8 told me that when you broke house arrest, he found you back in your old apartment, without your suit. So that was the Gage that I know. And he jumped back into the past to enlist your help, right? Because he knew that he was being watched. You certainly are resourceful, aren't you? I didn't even know that that was possible. Just when I thought I had you under my control, you go and pull something like this on me. While you were unconscious, I looked at your evidence biochip. That's some pretty incriminating stuff. Looks like I've got no choice. I'm gonna have to erase it and, mind wipe you. Well, at least you won't remember how painful it was. In fact, when you wake up back in your apartment in the year 2319, you won't remember that any of this ever happened. Or, will happen, I guess. Well, first, I've got to send back the Environ cart that you stole from me. Well, despite your best efforts, humans are no longer the only beings capable of time travel. It's for the better, Gage, believe me. We just can't be trusted with such a powerful tool. Human nature would eventually drive us to use it for the wrong reasons. And if we're not the only ones with the technology, maybe we won't be as tempted to misuse it. My contact promised me that it would be given to every race of the symbiotree that wants it.
Uh-oh, Gage, this doesn't look good. The jump controls are locked out and she's got you completely immobilized. While you were taking a commercial break, she hooked us up to this thing. She's been downloading stuff from your biochips ever since. She hasn't discovered me yet, but I'm afraid it's just a matter of time. I keep trying to sneak a peek down the data stream, but I'm afraid I'm gonna stand out like a rat in a garden hose. Hey, that was pretty good. Anyway, I'll keep trying.
You probably think that I'm ill, that I'm insane. I really can't blame you. I mean, no one from our generation has ever seen how aggressive we can really be. Or the generation before us, for that matter. Or the ones before that. But every single one of my historical research missions involved studying war. I've been to the Nazi death camps and Hiroshima. I've seen the terrorist massacres. I've lived it. I know. You can't possibly imagine the horror of seeing a bustling city of thousands vaporized by a nuclear firestorm, or a crowd of people shredded into bloody ribbons by a single shrapnel, as you watch, helpless. But that's what happens when we feel the need to bare our teeth. It's human nature, and it's not something that just a couple of 100 years can erase. Look around you. Do you know what this place is? It's a missile silo. Well, a few centuries ago, there were tens of thousands of these, and each one contained a nuclear missile powerful enough to obliterate an entire sector. That's enough to destroy the world 50 times over. Yet just 3 centuries later, even before the physical reminders are gone, we're claiming that we've matured into a peaceful race of beings. How can we be that naive?
That's it! She just hooked up the pipeline I needed. I'm gonna swim up and see if I can stop her.
You probably figured out that I was the one that rigged the security grid. I had to be able to get the things I needed from the Pegasus warehouse without being seen. But when you started asking around about the mistake in the grid, well, I mean the future you, that is, I had to change my plans. So, instead of just sending the information to my contact, I came up with the idea of hiding it in historical artifacts. Artifacts from your research dates that were also slated for sale at the Louvre art auction. That way, all I had to do was tell my contact which items to buy. And the transaction was nearly impossible to trace. And if anyone started digging around because of what they saw, well, they'd discover the ripples and come straight back to you. I even found some valuable trinkets to plant in your locker if that happened. Just that one simple move would give you a motive and the court a scapegoat. But, I didn't want to have to do it. I never thought for a second that someone might accidentally discover the ripples. I mean, how often do we do manual scans? Someone must have been bored out of their minds that day. I'm sorry, Gage. I really am. If I could be the one that was arrested, if I could take responsibility for my actions, I would in a second, believe me. I had no choice. I don't want to do this to you, but if I don't, it will all have been for nothing. If they find out how the technology was spread, they'll be able to keep it from ever happening. That's the problem with time travel. Nothing's ever safe. That's why I had to do it. I had to even the playing field, even a little. I'm sorry if I'm making you an unwilling martyr to my cause, but that's just the way it's gotta be. Please understand. So why am I even bothering with this? You're not gonna remember any of this anyway.
Gage, I'm there. It's all hooked up, everything. It's all controlled through the neural link into her suit. You can create a virus and shut the whole thing down. You just need to get into it. No. There's a password, Gage. I need a password. What do you know about Michelle? I'm setting up an interface link for you. I need a password. We've both got instant Alzheimer's. See what you can dig up. Hurry!
Alright. Big, huge dump. I'll talk about that later. But anyway, now we gotta figure out a password. What do we know about Michelle? Well, this is where the files biochip, of course, comes into play, but... well, I'm not entirely sure myself. We do have our ID number, which matches the footprints, of course. So let's try putting in that.
Gage, we're running out of options here. I need that password now.
Yeah, I'm getting there, Arthur. 33539227. No. Okay, what else about Michelle? She's a girl. She's kind of mentally unstable. She wanted to record...
Anything. Pets, hobbies, power tools, types of cheeses, something personal.
Wait a minute, she wanted us to record something on our Environ system because her was busted. She was going to record the Environ cartridge on our system. Huh. That's interesting.
She's past the last safety lockout gauge. You don't get me in there now, our minds might not be the only things erased. History could be in for a serious rewrite. We're the only ones, Gage. We've got to do it. Now.
Boom. No. Good. Michelle. No. Okay. Password. No.
That's it. Get ready to have your memory erased. This is gonna hurt you more than it hurts me.
Yes, I was actually doing that on purpose because, voila, there's a death. Of course, up to 151 because of that random... Why is it when I reload I find other hints that I've never found before? Anyway, having interrupted Agent 3's scheme by taking the most integral piece of the time machine plans, Agent 5 unintentionally drew her directly to him. He was captured by Agent 3, who then completed her mission and erased his memory to prevent further interference. And of course the next kin have not been notified here. Oh my goodness. It's like they just I'm gonna split this over and then all the magic electricity will come in. Okay, I'll see you back when we have control. Okay, so this puzzle is actually pretty intuitive and actually pretty clever. You have to guess your password, and it's rather you guess that it's rather personal. So the only thing you have is your file's biochip in order to figure it out. However, there wasn't a lot of information on Michelle presented throughout the game. The only thing that was presented was the answering machine. So that kind of rules out a lot of information that you have to sift through. Like, none of these are going to be the password. It's going to be something personal. So, what is it that is in the file's biochip under Michelle that corresponds to what she's mentioned in the answering machine. So what did she say?
Hey, Gage, how you doing? Listen, I was... Oh, shoot, it's your day off. You're probably in Tahiti, as usual. Well, anyway, I was wondering if I could borrow your environ system. The record button's busted on mine, and I haven't had a chance to get it fixed.
She said something about her environ system being busted. That's not going to help out. What else did she mention?
And hey, you do me this one favor. I might be willing to forget our bet. Remember? Grab ball last week? Thought you'd get away with it, huh? Not this time, pal. I beat you fair and square. So call me. I'm at home. Thanks. Bye.
Other than the environ system, she's mentioning grab ball. It does mention grab ball twice here, so that's kind of the only logical answer we're able to go for. So I'll put that in. And with that, I'm actually going to leave you here prematurely. See you next time, everyone.
That's it! We're in! Only... there's... one thing I didn't tell you, Rich. You're gonna have to do the rest without me. I'm the virus. Thanks for the adventure. I'll see you on the other side.
What's going on? What did you do? What did you do?
Seeing as how they weren't expecting us, they haven't left a victim for the occasion. And frankly, I don't think you would have passed the test. Still, we're gonna have to fake it somehow. I don't suppose you've noticed any spare hearts lying around along the way. That's it! We're in!
Brrr.